All in favor? Aye. Yes. The items on tonight's agenda, in my interpretation, do not require a regional impact. Political motion. I'll make the motion. All in favor? Aye. So done. Okay, we go to the application for boundary line adjustment, PB 24-012. I would ask, please enlighten us as to what you're doing.
Yes, we got another quote. We've all said it pretty well. What I'm trying to do is restore the original property that we bought back in 2005, which is labeled as 23659. It currently includes parcel A and parcel B. Not sure why the merger was done that way. Ruth would have done it back in the day. But what I wanted to do was just move parcel A and parcel B over to 23658 to create one new lot. This would be the original boundary for lot 59. For the original lots.
Looking at our little maps that we have, what is actually going to be the new boundary line? The heavy dark, black?
Yes, that would be the heavy dark on the left, because we lot 59 north of post housing. I don't need would be the 58. I want to remain 59 would be
This here, yeah. So this is the part of the state where you got parcel A here, yeah. That is disappearing. This is actually parcel A here.
The way the Fieldstone laid it, this parcel A and parcel B are currently part of 59. They would now become part of 58.
And then what are we representing here? With these dotted lines.
This is this dotted line identifies parcel B. So this dotted line and the solid lines. And then this dotted line with the solid lines identifies parcel A.
So this 1.25 and 1.43 is going to 58, correct?
And that would make 58 a total of 4.35.
This becomes stays only as the 2.59.
Right. I didn't know that, but just yes.
This was the original boundary lines for this entire.
Right, when we purchased, this is what we bought.
The new line from Rain.
No, well, from Shapiro's, like that. My Alfred Rain in here, but not much more. And then this was all part of looking at heights.
Are there any other questions from the board on this? Any objections to it? Pretty straightforward. Yeah, straightforward.
I'll make a motion to approve the boundary line. Change the law, 3.58. There, I'll second.
Secondly, by Michael, you need me to it. All in favor?
Aye. Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Other business, Fieldstone Land Consultants, for site plan modification. Prior to going into this, survey the board is looking, as members of the board, you had your packets, you've seen what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Do any of you feel as though we should have this as a public meeting? Or should this be just a site plan revision?
Maybe we should just listen to them and then make a determination from that. If he wants to do first, and then we can make a determination that we should have a site, public hearing.
Okay, in which case it would up and continue.
Right.
Yes,
One concern is, this was not presented to the conservation committee, so we should accept voting on the conservation committee, give me the rating.
how am I going?
It doesn't need to be sent to the conservation committee, but if this body feels like that's needed, then sort of.
The only thing I know of is that we're just reversing two buildings. What its impact would be, let's see what he's going to say. Here,
Thank you. John New, Fieldstone Land Consultants, here on behalf of Flatley Company. So this was the approved site plan, the overall master plan showing everything. So our area of impact that we're here to change is down here. So there's a clubhouse with a pool next to it, closest to Route 32. So this is Zachary Drive right here. So access directly off of 32, there's a curb cut here, parking 20 spaces with the clubhouse and the pool. And then this is what's being proposed, which is keeping the curb access exactly where it was, keeping the clubhouse down here, but rotating, putting parking, so there's only 11 spaces, that parking spaces down here with clubhouse, and moving the pool up here. So this was the recreation area before. So there's the pool up here, where with the other rec area, so there's a shared garden, a paddleboard, small tennis court, storage shed, and basically just having it go back here. So what they wanted to do is that, discussing over time, was to try to have the pool closer up to where the residents are going to be, because they feel like most of the residents are using the pool versus it down at the clubhouse, and kind of just separate the noise vision on 32. So they want to separate it a little bit. So it's pretty much the orientation of the clubhouse change. They're going to do underneath the clubhouse, so the basement floor would be a really small maintenance area, and the remainder is going to be a gym for. So yeah, a gym in the downstairs, the clubhouse upstairs remained was approved. Less parking spaces down here was approved. Then we added 3 parking spaces for relocated spaces up here with a handicap space, so they wanted to do a handicap access directly to the pool. So there's a sidewalk here that connects the sidewalks. So pretty minor, it's mostly that the pool is moving where it was next to the clubhouse down 32. So this intersection here under this driveway is the same place it was on the approved plan. So the same distance from the intersection where the driveway comes to the Route 32. Stormwater is handled exactly the same way, so it's still routed right back here to the front to an infiltration basin that goes into this detention here.
But the stormwater with the addition of the pool up there is the second one too.
Yeah, it's all handled the same up top as well. So that was pretty right. So that was pretty much
It's probably that's.
a big flat area before. So they had a recreation area, the garden, it was kind of reversed, so like a bigger tennis court, putting green. So they eliminated the golf putting green. The pools in the area that the putting green very close.
On the previous, slide, The green line, what is that?
So green lines are, that's the edge of the woods afterwards. So there's no additional wetland impacts or changes to the wetland that was permitted things.
I'm wondering about, the degree of screening, with the parking. I'm just thinking about community impact. So is there, what does the landscaping, how is it?
Yeah, so kind of landscaping the same, I don't have the landscaping printed out, but keeping the same counts as
If you're
what was
keeping the
approved.
same, I just, just, that's not all. Yeah, okay.
Same as like utilities, kind of shift it up, just, but they're in the same conditions.
I think what you're doing makes sense.
Yeah.
Certainly getting the pool further away from 32.
We'd have all those parking spots.
Yeah.
Don't want to be like today, nobody would.
Right.
Even to get to the gym part of it.
Yeah, so where we've located it, so this was on the pre-approved plan, is the stairs and the path here and the path up here. So all these residents is walking distance. So like you said, no one's got to drive. They can walk.
Yeah,
And are there bathroom facilities?
There is not, so we, to our client, we suggested that we should put some type of facility here, so they're contemplating if they're gonna do that or not, in which case we come back. So right now we have so the maintenance building and shed that's up here, is they're discussing now, they added maintenance area down to this clubhouse that wasn't there before, maybe they can potentially take half of that or a portion of that and make changes in the restroom.
So you might be back.
We directed them, we think it's a good idea to have a restroom. So likely we might be back. So it's still utilizing the same footprint of what the main shed was before it's that.
Given the amounts of recreational area, is there a shower room anywhere on the floor?
Are there what?
Shower rooms?
that's what he was just.
No, so there's not showers or here, but they're close proximity to their apartments. It's basically swap this back where you are here.
Run on the boats you want to pick up there. Yeah.
That's much further than their apartment.
That is definitely.
Going back to the clubhouse. Looking. Just passing by. That clubhouse is right now, which is always going to be about 6 feet elevated from your entranceway into the property.
Yeah, similar to what we had on plans before, the grading was the same elevation, rotated this way. The elevation wise, the road would be about the same.
But you're talking about putting a basement into that also?
Right, so grades will just drop lower to the back here. So this drops down in here, the front is what was height wise elevation from the road the same. They were just dropping it, this driveway down into the rear so they can get in here. Now we're just getting for the maintenance, for really some maintenance staff would come down into this door. Anyone using the gym would go through the stairs.
And the type of maintenance that would be housed there is just for that building, or is it for the facility total?
Yeah, facility in total, so they have up here would likely be lawnmowers and things like that, and down here. would be
Maybe there's a part of maintenance trucks. Or will there be, trucks that that live here?
I don't think there'll be an on-site maintenance truck, but this is on parking, so when they come, was down here, and then they can park one of these spaces here to go to make sure that.
Because they want to keep the clubhouse parking available for clubhouse.
Correct, yeah, this will be for the clubhouse users. Basically, this drive would be again for the parking in the back.
Didn't it used to be like an office, a development office in the clubhouse? Is that still there? Or I might not be remembering.
They got rid of that at one of those other
Okay.
areas before we did the final.
Okay.
My concern on the maintenance, at that level. Hazardous, any sort of hazardous material. Where is that, if we get a runoff or something like that, we have a problem because you're close to a water table. You're close to your retention pond. Would it be better not to have that down in any maintenance other than just for building concerns?
Right, the maintenance that would be down at the clubhouse is gonna be, like a car garage that has gasoline or chemicals in this area. They probably have, they're gonna have their lawnmowers and stuff up in this area, so they can close the building. For the garage, so like the building, all that will be up here, this will just be a very small maintenance from the end, at the corner. Then the rest of the
Spare parts, light bulbs, stuff like that, type deal.
Exactly. Plumbing tools, like,
Yeah. Seven. Any other questions over the board? Concerns? As far as the environmental part of it, I don't see where there's a problem. I don't look at it. Great. Consensus, being, yeah, the river flag there. Mark, are you satisfied?
So I can't represent the conservation committee, but as an individual, I have to.
Motion to accept the site plan.
I'll make a motion to approve the second modification.
I'll second. Okay, seconded by Brandy. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Other business, Blueberry Hill Ship. We can identify yourself again.
Okay. I am Ron Corner. This is Blueberry Hill Sheds. I'm located at 387 Banana Highway, which is 212. On the corner of Mercy Hill. So, I guess in consultation with applicant about what to present. On February 15th of 23. I was approved to operate business manufacturing equipment. And on January 30th, 2 weeks before that, I was granted permission to sheds and Christmas trees. I don't know if the Christmas trees will ever catch on. The quote would be actually delayed last year because of actually a shortage of equipment. So we're about to take action on that. I just purchased some equipment. The tractor, processor. So that, what we're asking you to do is also to be open to landscape materials as well. We just decided that having the equipment for the wood pressure process, so that we need something we can do multiple use to actually be in a position to load landscape materials. So we want to start small with 5 or 6 bins for landscape materials. I provided drawings of that. I got some room, so everybody should have copies of that. Did you also give them the one that is more just looking at that one? Yep, all 3 of them were in there. So what we want to do is initially we want to do right across the front. So on the old drawing on the front, which is what abuts the Route 12, there was about 7 or 8 spaces there on the old drawing. Currently, we have sheds on those. Because when I got approved for the sheds, we said maybe 20 or 30 cars a day. We're lucky if it stays. You know, I think my wife had a visiting stay last week, and she said there were 6 beds in the country. So, and people kind of trickle in at different hours of the day. We don't really close a lot. Anyway, so what we want to do is put landscape bins in those spots. We have it measured out. The corner of that row would be the cordwood, And then there would be a half a dozen bins, 5 or 6 bins for landscape materials, which would be polished, crushed stone, whatever, different colors, things. And then eventually, yeah,
Would the bins be accessible from the interior or?
they would be from the interior. So there'll be basically a wall across the front. The previous owner of the business, Sue, she just retired. I purchased 60 of those really big cement blocks that they put on the sides of the bins. So that was, kind of was in the back of my mind, and too, which why I purchased them. Currently, they're in the drawing that you have on the left, it just says blocks, cement blocks on the left. This is a big pile of blocks, it's gotta be 150,000 pounds of blocks there, they're big. So there's 60 of them over there. So those would be relocated over, which would also on the back side as you enter the lot. This drawing that I have with the property is one. So this is the entrance right here. And currently the blocks are right in the sill area here. The way we have the shed set up, they're actually moved forward because the blocks are kind of in the way. So we have a straight row all the way up this way. It curves around the back side of the block. That curves around. And it just follows the line. So what we want to do is take the sheds out, just a half a dozen of them, and then slide it back. So it actually creates more room on that side. So instead of having sheds here, you'll have landscape base here. Currently, it's about 60 feet from the corner of the entrance. There's a stone pillar there. So again, where it drops off into the swamp is about 60 feet. Currently, we're only using the front 30 feet, so this part. What we want to do is move it back, and then we'll be using 20 to 30 up against the edge, and then it'll follow the line. So we'll still have the ability to have as many shelters that we got now. It's just they'll be further up, and since we're using this, sometimes we stack it 2 feet depending on the size. That's the way I drive it, likes to do it. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. We're basically trying to just be open with the product and things already been there. That location doesn't kind of make sense. So that's not to do it.
So how high would those blocks be?
They'd be about 4 feet. They're 2 by 2 by 6. And really, you want to do it in such a way that when a truck delivers landscape material, it doesn't fall over the other things. So you're going to have enough time.
And how far off would you, well, will those blocks be?
Well, right now, there's a stone wall there, which is actually, I think, 50 feet off the center line of the highway, which is what it's supposed to be. So they would be on that. There would be nothing in front of anything that's there now. So on the left side, so on this side, right here, there's a stone pillar and a short piece of wall, which was actually hit by a car. It stopped them from running into the sheds, which was kind of good, nobody got hurt. On the other side, there's also a stone pillar, and that opening, that was 35 feet. The opening itself is 35 feet wide. There's a pillar on each side, and on the other side, you could have that. How far that is. Almost 100 feet. It is. Yes, I had 75 feet for landscape materials, guys out this drawing, and 36 more feet for so my point was, there's nothing in front of that front line except for the sign. There's like a sign that they 74 feet tall by 10 feet long, 4 feet wide. It's just our side is to the side of that. So I'm assuming that must have done by you guys. So all we did was put our side.
It looks like you intend to plant some landscaping
Yes.
on the front face.
Landscape, yeah, that would be the first thing. So we're talking about this left side of the building, the very first thing we could do. I guess we could do it either way. I'm ultimately looking for landscape materials here, where the sign is here, it doesn't show anywhere, it shows landscape plan, but there's no landscape plan there. So the sign is here, the pillars are on both sides, and this drawing is drawing like that. So this drawing is really this sign over here. So ultimately what I want is landscape is here and here, well, here, side. So it could be as many as it doesn't. And who knows, if it really takes off, I would probably use my shed inventory some in order to have more of this. Just depends what the public really wants. You know, obviously we have some input from the previous owner on what sells and what doesn't sell. Want to be profitable, but also gives us something to do while we're waiting for shed customers instead of just waiting for shed customers.
On your drawing, you have your 75 feet
Yeah,
variance. And then to the right of that, you're 36 feet.
yeah.
Cordwood display is what it says.
This is the
It doesn't say manufacturing there, right?
Well,
But where would that, if you start bringing in timber,
yeah.
start cutting it, where is that going to be located?
I personally think, and I'm glad you brought that up. The dimension that you see on the far right, the 63 feet, is actually 63 feet to the front corner of the office. The office is not, it's not in that location. In other words,
Just further back.
yeah, it's way further to the right. It's about 5 or 6 feet from where it drops off. And it's 63 feet to the front corner. So there's actually enough room there for me to display cordwood and process. My processor is not like a full deck live, what they call a live deck processor. It's really just a commercial splitter.
It's not like tree harvest.
It's not. And if I was ever to do that, I would probably run that processor at a 32. So I'd be actually more comfortable doing the main processing here. The point of doing it here in that corner, that 36 feet by 63 feet. Is really just so it's not in the front, it gets people's attention. Hey, really not, people don't get it, it should go big. So a good chunk of the wood that will be processed on that property. And then brought to the location. That's my.
So when you say display, you're just gonna.
Yeah, pile of wood.
Just be a pile of wood.
Pile of wood.
Then you have to touch it again and put it back in the truck to
Well,
sell it.
pile of wood and a splitter. I'm kind of going back and forth on whether to deliver truckloads of cordwood to people's houses or to keep it smaller. This is actually a market for bins of cordwood. So instead of marketing whole cords, I may just stick them with bags or bins. They're, like 180 bucks for the third of the cord. So all of them. But you also don't have to go as big. It's more quick. Everything you do is more quick. So we may grow to that point, but if we do that again, we can load and deliver forward directly from my
So you're gonna be, people will buy this landscape material, are you gonna be loading?
Yes.
So you have somewhere parked here, a loader of some sort?
Yeah, I don't even quite have it. It's paid for.
So Adam, I guess my question for you is there enough, I just always think about the files, right?
Yeah. The file.
So, I used to work in the office
Yeah.
and the files really matter.
Oh, yeah.
It's all it's there, right? So, do you feel like you have enough
Yeah.
clarity and specificity and dimensions and stuff to be
Yeah.
able to make sure that whatever we approve is represented in this?
Yeah, but Mike and I both feel like we have enough to start. Mike is always, he's always receptive to things that they're not quite right for the board, right? And so if the board feels like it's not enough, then please voice those concerns, but Mike and I do feel like it's enough. Enough to at least bring to you guys. And ultimately, this is why it's at planning board, you know, if you guys would like more, it is within your. But Mike and I feel like we have nothing to do. For this,
You know, I'm concerned about like circulation within the site, but I get that it's really in flux, right? You're testing a lot of different.
Well, it's not as much in flux as you think. So when she had just landscape materials, you could take out what I've done over the last year and a half, take all the sheds out and put landscape bins all the way around. You basically have the same business. It's just that I don't have all landscape bins. She had a loader, she had other equipment, she also had a dump truck, she had stone pallets, she was selling granite and other kind of fancy stones on the front, right off of the front, with his mulch now. So she had the loader, she had the fuel issues, she had a dump truck, and she had all landscape. The only difference really is that I also will have a truck, also will have a loader. It's just that some of what she had that was bins for the sheds. So it'll be bins, sheds. This actually is back here where it says the processor now. She's doing that. I had it's just that. Because it's actually much bigger. Yeah, if you go to the lot, just drive in there. Get a sense that even that distance, like it said, the distance from the front corner to the 60 feet. More than enough to do it.
So, and the other thought I always have, because we're always trying to beautify our main arteries, you know, is there, I know that you intend to put some sort of landscaping across the front. And I don't want to make that be a condition of approval necessarily, but I would like you to work that out so that you put some detail, you know, what is it gonna be? Is it
Well,
gonna
it's gonna be-
trees, shrubs, whatever, but you know, specify that.
No, it's gonna be landscape, bins there, so all you'll see from the road, you'll see a 4-foot high cement blocks.
Oh, you don't intend to plant things in
With
front
the
of
bit,
it?
oh, we planted flowers in there already,
Okay, so
but
those,
that's,
just
yeah,
flowers, but not like
Right.
any kind of screening to.
right, so what we're doing over here is this will be a wall, basically, from the corner all the way across 4 feet high.
The wall of the concrete walls. that
Yes,
hold the
yeah,
materials.
with dividers. And so you'll have a pile in the corner, of course, with hopefully fairly large. And then the other one will just be, you know, I'm actually modeling it off of some other businesses that I saw locally, I saw over Brooklyn. Really nice, I mean, nice and square, different colors. And actually, you can see it a lot better than you can now with the sheds. So right now, you drive down, then by it, it's great. Sheds. You can't really see into the lot. Now you'll be able to see into the lot. More of it.
Going back to your report with display area. For me, as long as you're processing it away from the site. And just bringing it in and dumping it and then retailing it out of there, I don't have a problem with what you have here. But if you're gonna bring in equipment to start splitting and stuff like that, I wanna see exactly where that's gonna be located, where your distances are, that from things, where your raw material is gonna be dumped, and handled, so,
Well, because it's and I tried to explain this before, so you can clarify this. It's not a live deck processor. So a live deck processor is literally at least from where I'm standing to the wall. A commercial splitter is no bigger than the scale. So when I deliver wood to the area, it will be coming in, already coming to rounds, ready to split.
okay, but
So it doesn't take off.
But you did mention that you may go into a situation where you're not going to be just bringing it in already split or whatever. And again, my feeling is that if you're going to be doing something mechanically there, other than just bringing in and dumping it, I would like to see exactly where these things are going to be.
Okay,
On that,
that's what this 36 by 63 area is recorded with, and I've already approved the process work on this location. But I agree, yes,
I understand that, okay, but I want to know where you're going to be setting that stuff up. Where you're going to have that splitter, where is it going to be?
can I draw that on plan right now? As we speak?
I would like to see a more detailed project, rather than just, like, sketching it in on the day. I don't know how the rest of the board, this is just my own opinion on it.
Okay. It just as a point of clarification for everybody, if I noticed some confusion, the approved uses that have already been previously approved by this board and by the zoning board are the landscape material. So he is able to sell landscape material and he is able to process. So those are all approved. I just didn't want there to be.
No, I have not been approved for landscape, that's what I,
No, in '96 you were.
oh,
And it has
no, in
already,
'96, that would have been the previous one.
yeah, and the property has already been used for that.
Okay,
Typically when a plan has been approved, give it a year or two to enact that plan, otherwise, but that has already been, on site. So,
Yeah, we already approved it,
Yeah.
for the processing of firewood, so I don't feel that it's right to be harassing him and making him go through that right now, because we already approved it for the processing of firewood on there. And I don't think you should have spoken up before we approved it for that, back then, and made him put it on there and show where it was going and feed and stuff.
This is a big change in how the site is being used, so it's an appropriate question.
no, I think it's an appropriate question.
Yeah,
So I understand what he's getting at. So when we were approved for wood processing toward the back of the lot, what I said was that there would be cement blocks around that area, and that only I could be the one to start that processing. So if I'm not there with someone that I approved, like say my son-in-law, for instance, not that he would be important, but for example, that area is basically cordoned off. So instead of doing it in this area, I want to keep that as sheds. And then I want to move the processing area to the front. Okay, if you feel better with me processing toward the back, I can process toward the back. Either way, it's the next in line.
But, I understand the fact that you approved the fact that you can do this. Okay. I want to see where it's going to be. You just mentioned initially that it was going to be to the back. Now we're talking about being in front. This shows exactly where we're going to be located and our setbacks, et cetera. I think would be fine. But I would like to get a more detailed.
Okay, so what is your concern with regard, are you afraid that a customer will come over and say they've been with the process? I'm just, it's a real question.
Who knows?
I'm concerned about files, because back here, you have submitted something to us that says wood processing occurs back here, it's in writing. And then in front, you say cordwood display, and now at the meeting, you're telling us you intend to process the cordwood in the display area. So it's just, we don't, it's clear, and I'm not, just to finish what I'm saying, it's not, we're in favor of what we're doing on, but we just gotta have a way to represent this when we're all dead and gone.
All right, so the wood processing in the back and the cordwood display are what was already approved. All I'm proposing is that, I could just leave the way it is. Do the wood processing in the back and display in the front and not process it. I just don't think I need to process in the back because I'm not buying a live deck. So that's kind of the whole point of why I said that, because a live deck is a much bigger machine. It's longer.
I get that you wouldn't want to touch it a bunch of times, so if you're processing it back, you're moving it here to display it, that's clean, but just, just tell us what you're actually going to do on the paper so that we know, right?
I thought that's what I was.
Yep, I understand all sides of this, just, I very much do. Here's the reason why Mike and I didn't require this, because we are working off of what was previously approved. And so we don't want to put any undue stress on, the applicants to come up with professionally engineered plans when, what was previously approved was. And so because that's what was approved, we thought it would be understandable to work off of those previously approved plans and not a new set of plans. And I think if you guys understand
Well, so this is what we want to do, exit off, and should be,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely, yeah.
Okay, because we're looking, I mean, sitting here agreeing to this, I'm just seeing what we're doing, and that's what I'm thinking, and then you say something different, and that's fine, but I just think it's.
All right,
That's all.
okay, you should go and do what you want. So I should just write the word, what process from here? Is that what you're saying?
That's, I mean, that's.
Just be,
Right?
be more specific on your plan that you're presenting to us. Okay, because this, you know, I'm looking at it and it's kind of loose.
It was what was previously, and I do want to stress that, that plan, it is loose, but it wasn't.
This is a more structured plan.
It was exactly, it was exactly, yeah.
If the last time he was in here, we required him to come back showing those concrete bins. It was, to the best of my knowledge, the only thing that we required him to do.
Yeah,
So if there's any other concerns that we have, we might as well speak now, so he only has to come back once more.
I don't want. I want this to be restored. I want you to.
Have him show up where the wood processor is gonna be. He already has the blocks on it. Requested him to do last time, right? So he comes back and just showing where the wood processor is. I think that would be sufficient.
I have a question.
You guys have to.
Yeah, and so Swanzey works on, where we're a complaint-based municipality, which means that if anybody, feels like the property is not up to current code standards or to what was approved, then you'll see Mike essentially, and then Mike, and you will work out a solution. Probably would be to, you guys are seeing what's before you because it was approved already in that state. And so I can't have him alter other plans other than what was already.
Yeah, honestly, I'm a little bit surprised because really I was mainly coming in for the landscape angle, the cordwood was approved. And, it says it right on my approval that the town minutes, it says that, you know, that I was very concerned about safety, it's just explain, I have 10 kids.
And I
Right.
would say,
You can't drop a glass of milk without us all going nuts about a little ton. I got a ton of grandkids, and so safety is ingrained. And believe me, I don't want anybody getting hurt. Whether it be a customer or even if it happens, which I really don't, I don't have it. So
if a new plan needs to be drawn, it might need to go through a site plan. Just full stop. His plan was approved, and so he can modify this plan. An entirely new plan that's been incurred with time and cost.
that area, it says 63 feet by 36 feet, is bigger than this room.
I have two questions.
Just before.
On the proposed site to meet that grass area,
Mhm.
then you have a hands-on line.
Right.
That extends beyond the grass. Is that a scrivener's error or is that
Is what an error?
the hands-on line
Yeah,
that extends beyond?
it's not a line, that's like an architectural line showing up to that, the way that at the end of that curve is. So the arrow, which I think we've got to put the point on the arrow, but that straight line, you mean this little line right here?
Yeah, but right here.
Yeah, that little line is just showing where this is. It's containing this curve. So the 63 feet from the pillar that's there now to this very back of the lot, and it's not, it's really just goes straight.
Okay, and then
This was provided by the town, and this is actually what I thought.
That one right there.
Yeah, so it does actually go straight.
And then on the other side of the same page, there's an arrow with the 63 feet.
Yeah. And I
That also extends beyond the grass.
it's just a reference point. So 63 feet is the distance from the front line of the property, not from here to there, but from the front line of the property. You will walk over to where that is. Now you're, 75, not even 70, it's probably about 20 feet to look out to where the front post is, where it's kind of like a porch, but it's not really a porch here. It's just showing the distance to where that furthest front edge, because it's on an angle. That's all that is, it's like an architect, if I was an architect, that would.
I'm not saying you have to be wrong. I'm just saying,
It's just the distance
okay,
from the distance between the front edge of the property that's usable actually. Okay, not to the road, but behind the pillar from that, there's actually a corner, there's actually, actually there's a hole in the ground right now, which I'm gonna do something. The distance from that front line of the property to the corner post of the office is 63 feet. So, like I said, if you had a wood processor in this room, it's probably 63 feet is actually bigger than the space. So it's plenty of room for what I do. It's just really just an industrial wood splitter with an elevator. So it has the thing that we sit up and just drops it in the pile, or in a truck, hopefully.
so you know, my father was gonna keep it to it.
Equipment hopefully to pay for itself. That's the plan. It's really, the whole idea is really to have more to offer to our clients. I have people ask me, what happened with Sue, why the next day business is there, and why we don't provide it. And I also have people that I refer a company to do site work for the sheds that I'm selling. So I have this idea that if I have enough equipment, maybe that could be me. So I have trailers, have tractors. I just don't have time.
And big players.
Yeah, so if it all worked out, they could purchase the shed from us, they could purchase the landscape materials from us, I can go out and prepare the site for them. It's
Great.
all,
Integrated operation.
yeah, that's exactly.
Any other questions or comments?
So all we're approving today is the modification for the fence.
That's what I'd say, because everything else had already been.
And actually, when we do these meetings, that's the only thing we're supposed to dig into. That's the modification to ask.
Well, the board is within their right to ask for additional.
Okay, so,
Thank you.
I think there's some information, sure.
Yes,
According to the modification.
yep, so this is a very productive conversation. You guys are well within the right to ask. So,
And I just
Good
want to know that your staff, that staff is satisfied.
Yep, it-
You are, then
and again, I'm always satisfied because that's what was. Yeah.
yeah, I came in originally to the town offices, and I spoke with them the first time. And I described the whole thing, so that was before I showed up at the CPA, and they sent back, which was fine. They wanted more information, but then I went back into the town offices and we kind of talked about this whole thing. Yeah, we got it. My bad. It's okay.
Doing a question on what was approved early and.
Okay.
Entertain a motion to,
I'll make a motion to improve the fence.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Open.
Thank you.
Good luck.
I have found Swanzey to be a great business, business, I think you'll have. I think that for
It's a balancing act between your rights and the town's.
I've watched the other applicants as well, if you want, any questions. So I appreciate it, thank you.
Look out for an email from me on Monday. Okay, I will.
Well, I'll be in Virginia, but I will be reading my good anyway.
Another related question, do you move sheds?
I do. You should go outside and look at my truck. Moving sheds has turned into my main business.
You want it in one piece, Mark, on many pieces, like we do it in many pieces.
I know it. I could do it in like pieces, so I sell sheds, but I get that question 7 days a week. So I just put in orange on the truck, we move sheds.
I spoke to you on it. Yeah, you put it to somebody else.
Excellent. Really? Oh, John, yeah, he's one. He's my friend. Yeah, he's a big guy.
Any other business that needs money?
Have a good night. Thank you.
I only have one question. Perhaps you could help me here. Yes, sir. Perry Lane sheds, where are we on those?
That I don't know. Very good sheds. You've,
The smoking.
The smoking one and the school.
They have no.
Nothing.
So,
That's the one we talked about, was it a month ago now?
That's when he came in and, that's worse.
Yep, so he needs to get the school one constructed prior to this, per month. We're hopeful that's it. And I'm not sure what might take place if it doesn't happen, but he needs to have it done by the next. The smoking shed, I guess we're, you know, we just want the kids to have their spot before the school year starts. So that's the other. The smoking one, I'm not really sure where the progress is. I know you're ordering them. So. Yep. Yeah, I mean, if you guys don't mind, next week is gonna be a white. Mike, Brandley, Stefan, other Mike, Jasmine, and I thought that's a good idea to start bringing some things forward to chat about for next time.
Are they gonna come to the meeting or?
If it is relevant. So we're gonna start probably on the 25th, and this will all be on the agenda. What is going to be discussed, and if anybody feels, if anybody doesn't want to discuss it at that time, you can table it for the next one, you know.
Are you gonna bring forth some of the laws that would change around?
If any relevant, RSA.
Well, I think 1400.
Yeah. So I'm just gauging interest. How do you feel about that? We're gonna start, yeah, sure. We're gonna start bringing that stuff up, while we have slow meetings, like next meeting right now is pretty slow. Nothing on other business, no public hearings yet. So you feel good about it? Yeah, just bring some things to your attention. We're just having a conversation.
Sure.
Okay. Good. Sounds good.
And that being said, motion, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I got 2 lives. Thank you, everybody.
Some days just vote against you, just.